Hey everyone, welcome back. It is now episode 13 on the TOS Enterprise Bridge. And man, has this month been busy for me. Not just building, but got a surprise visit from my in-laws on the weekend of Mother's Day. So we had a great weekend, and then it finally, it was warmed up and I've had to mow. I mow my yard and my neighbor's yard, and I help my other neighbor if asked. But right now, I just did the second cutting of the week yesterday. And then it rained again last night. So I'm going to have to do another two next week. But it's been really crazy trying to get things done. Garden tilled and ready to plant. So I do apologize. It's been a couple weeks since I posted anything on the bridge. So I am going to try to keep with the Saturdays for the bridge. But I do have another client build I'm going to be working on. And I'm going to be finishing up the Iwo Jima here pretty quick. But I'm going to definitely try to keep doing the bridge on Saturday. So it's going to take a little bit longer to get it complete than what I first thought. But hey, it's fun. I mean, with this, I'm doing something and I didn't like it, so I redo it. And you guys are seeing that. So in this episode, excuse me, I start getting the controls put onto the stations. Also finished getting up the main view screen. Touched up the paints, got everything ready, and I got that onto the deck and started work on the other with the fiber optics on the two areas right beside the main view, and just a lot of doing what needs to get done. So not bad. I really have fun. It really feels good to have that view screen up now, and I can start to see it coming together like I've been wanting to. So there is that. But yes, I did turn the lights on. So with that, if you guys are new to my channel, please click on the subscribe button and click on the little bell, and you'll know every time I upload. Also, if you see me doing something in this video or any of my videos, and I didn't go into enough detail with it, or I didn't explain it to where I was saying doing this, but I didn't explain well enough, please email me at bucktmore@gmail.com or put it in the comment section. And even if it doesn't do with the kits that I'm working on, if you're working on a kit and you're at a sticking point and you want to bounce ideas and ask a question, please email me too. I really enjoy helping where I can. And also in the comment section, I take, hey Buck, good job, hey Buck, and then the dreaded, no words needed, right? I do answer within 12 to 24 hours. So with that, guys, let's go see what's been going on with the bridge for the last couple weeks. Well, welcome back everyone, and yes, back on the bridge. Sorry I didn't post last Saturday. It was Mother's Day weekend, and I probably explained it in the intro, but my mother-in-law, father-in-law, everybody was here. So it was a very great Mother's Day weekend, especially for my wife and my daughter. So yay! Excuse me. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building light boxes for now. This is going to be easy for the turbo lift, but then I got to start figuring out how I'm going to be doing this one. And I've already trimmed down the fiber optics, so I thought I'd show. I went ahead and I basically all I did is I wanted to make sure it fit there, and then I'm going to go and trim the rest down after I get it secured in place. And then that way I can work on the light. I know where I need to put it. It's right here. So I'm gonna do a couple playthings, see how it's gonna look, and if I need to. I am probably gonna definitely put some light block behind, or not. I'm gonna put some fiber fill in there. So yay! All right, I'll come back when I got more to share. All right, well I'm gonna start putting the consoles on. I was gonna start touching up the black paint to make sure it's light block, but then I'm trying to do this. So with trying to get it up, so I said, you know what? I got the initial coat down. Excuse me. Now I'm going to start putting them on. And you remember, guys, I cut them out. Remember? Yeah. Got a bit of repair work to do, but that's okay. I knew this was probably going to happen because, well, it happened. Now the other thing I am doing and why it's like that is I am cutting these out, the pieces out, and fitting them in. I think it's going to look better, and so that's what I am now doing. So I thought I'd share with you guys. So I've already cut out these. I've got this set of switches, and basically, guys, I just get it and try to follow, the line where the edge is. Each piece has a bit of an edge. I don't know if you can see it, but you see that right there? That's the edge. That's the end of it. So I am making sure it is all pretty. And then when I get it done, I just set the piece right here and go from there. Now I did want to show you, like I said, I'm doing Spock Station. So again, I'm going to be going and I'm trying to line them up to the bottom of each, so there's that roundness, and then making sure I keep parts together and not keep bouncing them like that. And then I just kind of push over and make sure. Now some holes are great, some are not. That's how it is, but hey, it is what it is. And this is going to be the trickier one, because I'm going to try to take as much as I can in one piece. So there's definitely going to be a lot of X-Acto knife work. So I'm going to get that cleaned up. I'm going to get the rest of these cleaned up, and then I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll get them laid down. So I'll be back. Okay, got everything trimmed out and as good as I can, and how it looks really well. So let's get started. So first I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I went ahead and put the small one in here because when I start trimming these small ones out, they kind of get they're still here, but sometimes you just can't find and see them. So again, I'm going to take the console pad that I'm using, and I'm going to just set it in there and see how well it does, what I'm going to have to fix later. But the big thing too is I want to make sure I keep this half circle going. So then I have a toothpick and I have some CA. Now I'm not going crazy on the CA, because basically I just want to have enough for it to stick down but not start clouding up anything, because those are clear parts. So I'm just trying to be very careful, and hopefully with it nothing being enclosed right now, that will not be an issue. Usually when you use CA on a clear part and then you close it off, you get that fog because you close the whole thing up like a canopy. So then I just kind of play around with it, get it to where I like it. Maybe that looks pretty darn close. Push you up maybe, and alright, that's where I'm going to do it. And then I'm just going to press down, and then I'll go in and touch up all the other little bits later. Now the same here goes for, as soon as I find it again, I just had this thing up here. That's always happens, I tell you. I'm starting to do things, and there it is, sorry. This switchboard, these switches here. So again, I'm just going to, excuse me, sorry. I'm just going to take a little CA, and like I said, I'm just going to get it on here, like so, because what I'm going to do later after this sets is I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in these with some clear epoxy or something, so I can help get that off there, but when I go to do the light box. But then there is that one, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to press that one down. And like I said, I've already got that one in place. So the next fun part is these guys. Now I've trimmed and trimmed to get this piece to fit in there, so there's still going to be some more work I'm going to have to do. But it's pretty much right there most of the way. Let's see if I can do just a bit more of this. Just sand this backside down just a bit more. See if we can get it to fit a little flusher. So I'll check again. And like I said, you know, I will have to go back and do things, but that looks pretty good. Okay, that looks actually really good. Okay. So now comes the fun part. If I can get this done, and before all the epoxy or the CA sets. So blow things off. Then I will get it in here and try to get it. Then I'm just going to line it up like I wanted it. Make sure everything is there. Then I'm just going to press it in. And yes, I will have to do some up here on top of it, but that's okay. Actually, maybe none. Maybe I should go ahead and do some now. That way I can make sure. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to let this sit here for a second and get done and get somewhat secured. Then I'll, like I said, I'll move these things off later and get them done. Okay. I might have to add just going with a touch over here, guys, because I did not want to. I guess I didn't get enough glue on there. That's okay. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and get this part on. Well, I'm going to attempt to anyway, right? And see, that's what I thought was going to happen. So I was trying to save it, and yeah, no, that is not going to work. Sorry, this piece here, right here, I'm going to have to deal with. I could do that here in a bit. And then get my next set of switches on. Okay. Again, just kind of the same thing. I'm just slightly putting it in there. And set it there, and I'm going to make sure it's straight, because I've done that before too. I think, oh, that looks great, and then it's not even straight. Okay. So now I got to fix this so I can get it up on there, and I think what I'm going to have to do is just trim that off. That piece right there, so I can fit it in. I should have checked it with that piece before, but yeah, that's me. So I'm going to go ahead and get that trimmed up, and then we'll come back for the last of it. So I don't want you guys sitting here watching me do that, so I'll be right back. Alright, quick fix, quick easy fix. So now I'm going to go back here, get some more CA, and I'm going to start tacking it down here. And there we go. Now that's on. And like I said, you can see all the little gaps I got to fill. That's the fun part, but that's on. So I thought maybe we'd do one last little cool thing, and we'll put the scope in. Yay. Now what's going to be different here is I'm going to glue it from the bottom after I make sure I get all the spider web, cubby super glue webs off, because I'm going to glue it from the bottom. That way I can get this positioned exactly the way I want and do that, and don't have to worry about any more glue getting up onto the console. So yay! Now all I gotta do is get some lights, get some holes fixed, and we'll be getting there. So yay! But give me just a second. I'll let this get set. Okay. So there, I still got a little bit of work to do there, but now got some of the consoles on, so we can start to see how cool is this. Oh, not that one. Sorry. What did I put down? I did another one. Oh, here it is. Engineering. Yay! And forgive me, but let me see if I can do that for you guys. Let me turn this off real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, that's cool. So, I'm going to keep working on it, guys, and as I get done, I will share more with you. So, I will be back. Hey everyone, welcome back. And been a couple of days, but I finally was able to get all the stations on, and yes, there's going to be a lot of work to do. But, just show you, which is cool. I'm happy. And yes, I've gotten this taken care of. I got a little bit more to do, and then I got to touch up in here and do some more painting, but I thought I'd share that with you. And then remember, I told you with this fiber fill, grab a good, a new sharp blade, or if the blade you got on there is good and sharp, don't worry about it. But it's kind of easy. Just kind of take your X-Acto and just cut it. I mean, put a little pressure to make sure you get it off, but the great thing is you got this nice edge to go up against right there. So now I got, like I said, I got to do some painting in here and get some touch-up done. And let's see, what are you? And then I got one more matte coat to put on, and then that'll be pretty close. It'll be good right there. So I'm gonna get working on that. And like I said, the stations. But one thing I definitely want to do, I want to get, hopefully, my plan is to get this mounted to the flooring today, so then I can start looking and working with other things. But we'll get there. I'll get there when I get there. So, alright guys, well, I'm going to go back at it, and I'll come back and show you when this is looking ready to go. Alright, going to have to do some touch-up definitely on there, but got these started painting, and then I got to go back and touch them up, little holes. Excuse me, sorry. I thought I would start with now is how I'm going to take care of all these big oversized gaps that I did when I cut this out. And so just making sure everything looks good. Okay, so there's two ways I can go about it. One, I'll use my tulip slick like I like to, because it light blocks, it also seals, and that's good for like areas like here where you got those little bits, and that's good. I'm going to do that. Then I'll go around and I'm trying to keep an eye out on areas that definitely need to. And what I mean by that is I'm looking for where the light, the big holes. Sorry. Also, I have a toothpick. Excuse me. Because sometimes you have to, push it down in there a little bit. And then I also have a Q-tip to help get most of that off. Now, when it dries, I can go in and use my X-Acto and take care of that. So, again, I'm just kind of looking to see which way would be the best. And usually I like to come in from the bottom, because that way I know it's getting there. And again, when you overdo it, I just come and I will just move that out of the way and push it back into the corner, and then when it dries I'll come back in and get my X-Acto after it. But even like right here, guys, this is a good one for this, just using the tulip slick to help get that light block. I mean, I've done it before, but so, and then again, if I need to, I will come and I will pick it up, just get it smashed in. And now, I'm sorry if I got off camera, I'm just going to try to keep using it on places that I know needs it, that I can see without having to hopefully get the jar in there. But the great thing is these tips. Excuse me, sorry. And that's basically it, guys. I'm trying to keep it there. So, and then what I do as I get done, I'll hold it up, take a look, see if there's any, little bumps I need to take care of. And right now it's good. So I'll let that sit and I'll wipe this off. And yeah. So the other thing that I'm going to have to do with this is I'm going to have to use these some big putty here, as you can see, because definitely went and overdid it on some of the holes. So And even that might be too much because it's way over drilled, or it cleans out too far. So what I can also do is I'll take a piece of sheet styrene, just like this, and find where I put my scissors so I can show you guys. They're right in front of me and always lose them. Okay, so I'm going to take this styrene, and you see that really big little hole right there, right? Okay, I don't need to go real crazy with it. I just need enough that I can and then I'll just start trimming it down to fit more into that slot, so when it does, it'll fit right there. Or I could do this. I can come and trim it up and fit it back onto the console like so. I think that's the way I'm definitely going to try to do that. So give me just a second here. Let me play around with it. Ah. Okay. Alright guys, let me get it trimmed up, and so you guys can see what I'm going to be doing with that, and that way you're not sitting here watching me trying to trim and fit it. So I'll be right back. Alright, got it to a pretty good spot, and yes, I did put the scopes on. I had to, sorry. So what I did is I've trimmed it down, and I've cleaned off, if you know you had a little CA or something up there, or any kind of glue, I just trimmed the styrene down. And the great thing is I don't have to try to 100% grab all of it. I just need to make something that the tulip slick or putty can fit better against, and that's what I did. So I just keep messing it around. Okay. So now that I know that's going to work pretty decent, I'm going to take and not do very many. I'm just going to do a little bit of CA here and a bit of CA here. Don't need a whole lot ever. And then I'm just going to drop it like so, and then I'll just use my tweezers to help push it into place. Okay, there's that one, and now I definitely need to grab this hole right here. So again, I'm just going to do a little bit of CA. Don't need a whole lot. And there we go. Okay, then I'll take that little bitty one and get it pushed in there. Now that is taken care of. Now I can let that dry, and then I can go back. Now that that's taken care of, I can go back later and sand it down a little bit and get it all dried up and squared away. And yeah. So, alright guys, well I'm going to keep going at it, and I'll come back when I've got all these guys ready to look at. So, I will return. Well, it's time. I'm going to put the main view screen on now. And I had to drill a little hole here. And what I'm going to be using is my 5-minute epoxy, so I make sure this thing has a really good strong hold. And so what I'm doing is I've already got it mixed up, so I'm just gonna start applying it. And yes, I have it on the on this so I can keep the wire and everything up while I get this glued down or set down, because I'm gonna have to run some of this wire under the flooring. And I've already been working on the base outside. I'm gonna do a lighted base for it, but I thought we better get this one down before I forget. Alright, so I've got the epoxy on, and now I'm just making sure my wires are clear, and I'm making sure that everything is where it needs to be, like so. And yes, I'm going to have to hold it for a second till this starts setting. And yay. So, yay! It's view screen's coming on. Okay, so let's do a second take on getting the monitor screen put in. When I did it yesterday, I forgot that, oh, well, this actually should be right here, and I had it above it, and also I had to start scraping some of the epoxy back out and all that, and as you can tell just by the way it is, there wasn't a good amount of epoxy on there. So I am going to fix that, and I'm going to go ahead and that's the issue. I know the epoxy is good, but the problem is it takes so long to start setting up. I mean, it's a 5-minute epoxy, yeah, it's supposed to be fast, but it wasn't fast enough, and I had issues, as you can tell, because one, I didn't have enough. So I'm going to use CA more this time. And if you do something like what I just did, and you got to go back and refix it, don't worry about where this is glued. You don't have to paint that. But you definitely need to go in and scrape the epoxy that didn't get set right and not enough of, and make sure your hole is big enough to carry all the wiring through, because the first hole I had was, I could get everything down there, but it wasn't giving me enough room for these, and now it does. So this time I am going to add my CA, if it comes out. Of course not, it's dry. And get it all cleaned off. And this funny thing is, I usually keep after I get done using my glue, I always put the cap back on, but this can end up happening, and it's alright. Now I just got to hopefully get it all, you know, get it back out there, and we'll see. Then I'll do this. There we go. Okay. Blew that out. Alright, let's try this again. So, I'm going to make sure that I get the CA all down where it needs to be, and wipe up what doesn't need to be, like right there, right there, right there. And then I'm just going to move that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have it in the right spot like that, and I'm putting pressure from, let me zoom out here, I'm sorry guys. I'm putting pressure not only on this side of the main view screen, but I'm putting it on top so it sits. And I know, big fingers, right? And the good thing with CA is it doesn't really take that long. It's very good. And now I'm going to move this to the side and let it dry, but let you guys see. Yay! Okay. Now I'm just going to set it aside and let it get good and dry. And next I'm going to start working on getting this squared away. And for that, I need to get a couple things, and I'll be right back. Okay, not really much needs to be done, but I got to take care of this overhang. And you can use, I start with my snips because I want to try to get as close as I can, and also you should do it in stages like that, because if you don't, you keep trying to push these down and you hear that little pop, that means that it's trying to come off. It's got too much pressure, as you see, as you hear. So yeah, I will definitely be having to go do some more gluing, but that's okay. That's easy enough. And just just keep doing that. Just like that. And then sometimes I gotta change direction and go this way now, since there's that. And as you can see, it just keeps doing its thing. So hopefully, okay, there is all of that. Now I'll take my X-Acto and try to get a bit closer to make sure it's evened up enough, and just start cleaning it up, getting everything nice and pretty. And yes, I can use a sander, or a sanding block or a piece of sandpaper, but I'm trying not to yet because I want to make sure that I don't ruin any of the paint. Not like I can't repaint it, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now, is just slowly getting this cleaned. Okay. And basically that's it. So I'm not going to make you guys sit here and keep watching me clean that. I'll just come back and share with you when I'm happy with it, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back. Okay, I just did a little touch up on the turbo lift door, so I'm going to let that dry. Do plan on getting my lighting in on that and get that set onto the deck. But the other thing that I have to work on, because I want to, like I said, I want to start going, get the main view area done and then start working back, is, so this and this one's here and this one's here. What I should have done after I drilled the holes out, got everything done, and I primered, I should have masked off and painted the areas that needed to get painted. And you say, well, why don't you just use the decal? Well, one, no. These decals are pretty good and thick. So now what I'm doing is I am going to trim all these flush and mask them off, and then I'll be able to start working on getting this lined up for paint and all that. And so first thing I'm going to do is get these all trimmed down nice and flush and go from there. And then I'll show you that, guys. Now the good thing is I do have a lot of little masks, and if I don't have one, I can make one. So when you go to cut this flush, just do that. Take your snips and just do that. I mean, you can use fingernail clippers, but I use my snips. I used to use my fingernail clippers, but at one point they just weren't grabbing enough, and I'd have to come in with a knife and do it again. So, and once you think it's good, always double check. And you can see I might have to go back in with a pair of my X-Acto blade and trim off a little bit more. Just shave, because sometimes they just don't want to play nice, right? And then I'll see areas that, oh crap, okay, well, I gotta add, more fiber optics because that didn't stay. But again, I try to stay in the line with them, and if I can't, I will come down this side, trim the piece off that I needed to trim, and so there. And now the fun part's going to be when it's going to be these bigger guys. But I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me snip, 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 snip. So let me get this done, and get these all snipped, and I'll go from there. So I will return. Alright, got them all trimmed and cleaned up. And now, this is masking that I've used on other kits, and I always save it because you never know. And so I am taking, you know, the smallest of them and trying to make it happy right there. And don't worry if somehow you get a little paint on there. You can come back with your X-Acto knife before you put a clear coat on to seal it, to redo that little bit of cleanup. But I try... Dang it. Come here. Sometimes it can be definitely a pain in the behind, because one, I'm using a good sharp X-Acto, and two, sometimes these things just don't want to stay right there. And then I'll just come in and press and keep going back and forth doing that. Now, if I'm not going to have enough, so this is a leather punch tool I got a while back, and I got all these different sizes. And what makes this really cool is I'm going, you know, just everywhere where there's, you know, a big piece, I push down and it'll come out. And as you can see, I got a little bit of the paper on there too. I cut a little bit too deep, but that's okay. So paper's out. Get off of there, and there is that. And I can go in and just like that, get it into position, and then again just tap down, make sure it's set good, and go from there. So I'm not going to make you guys watch me do all of this. That's kind of mean. So I'm going to keep going, finishing this up, and once I get them finished up, then I'll start laying out the area to paint, or I'll take a break and go back to the consoles because I still got work to do on those. But first things first, I want to just start making this all pretty and getting ready for more paint. So let me get that, and then I'll be back, guys. Alright, one more thing before I do that, guys. Now, I use the snips to get them trimmed real close, but sometimes you can't get close enough. So again, I take my X-Acto blade, my X-Acto knife, and basically I run it flat and let it get the little parts that didn't come as pretty as it should have, and just keep working that, and that way everything's down smooth and good to go. Alright, actually I think that might actually be too big. Let me try something here real quick. It's a great thing I got a lot of these little buggers. Let me see this one. I didn't even notice I had one in there. Wow. The heck? And I don't know what that is. But again, I just take it and I don't push down real hard, and sometimes that happens. Let me do this again. Okay, there we go. Now, I just come and hopefully try to get you. Come on, you bugger. Not the way I wanted, but it'll work for now. Okay. Okay, actually, yeah. That is so much better. Look at that, the difference. So, see, okay. So I got to cut them. I got to use this and cut a lot of them out. So that's going to take a bit. So let me get working on that, and I'll come back and share. Alright guys, well it's going to take a long time to use my tool to punch those masks out. So I'm going to look at my Cricut program and see if I can't do something very close and have it do like 50 of them at once. But I'm not going to do that. So this is the comm station, and here I don't remember if I showed you guys. I just used that little styrene, a small piece, and use it to cover up the big gaps, and then I'm going in and redoing the tulip slick. But another thing I wanted to share with you guys is you saw me use the CA, and what I'm doing now is I'm cleaning any of that overspill, and I'm using a very good sharp X-Acto knife to make sure I get that all cleaned up, because when I go back to paint again, do touch up on the painting, I don't want it to have to, I don't want to seal that, so I try to use my knife the best way I can, and if I need to, I will go back in with a pair of, I'll go back in with the sanding tool, because I got some really good little sanders too. But as you can see, all I'm doing is I'm just picking up the big chunks that got over glued. And you need to make sure it is a new knife, new blade, so you don't overwork yourself, because a new blade can definitely get in there a lot quicker and a lot easier than any other. And then you had just the fun of trying to get it all done, right? Alright. So, yay. So that's basically what I'm doing now, because like I said, this is going to take a while to cut those out, and I'm not going to do that. I'm doing it, but I'm not going to, I'll do more of that off camera, and probably, later today or tonight, work on it while having fun with my grandkids. At least my granddaughter, I know, and hopefully my grandson, but yeah. And also, guys, I wanted to apologize that I've not been going super fast. It's taking a while to get the bridge done, and I seem to do more masking, more painting, and more of that, and then some things I don't. And the reason this is taking a bit longer than normally should is because I have been blessed with two more clients, and I need to get the Iwo Jima, get it finished up. I'm close, but it just takes a lot of time trying to do those little pieces, and then I'm going to be building. I 3D printed something, and for my next client, and I will share that, but not right now. But yeah, I want to get this finished, but I'm also wanting to take care of my clients. So please bear with me with the bridge. It is going to be a work in progress. I know it's been a long time already, and I need to get it done, but I need to get my client stuff really finished first. So I'm going to try and keep the Saturday episodes, if I can, of just the bridge. Just depends on how the work goes on finishing up the Iwo Jima on that. So yeah, but hey, it's good, because I started getting these starting to get these cleaned up. I have got the main viewer now and I'm also working on finishing and getting things ready to keep going on, because yeah, I'm starting to feel it. I want to get this stuff done too. So but yeah, okay everyone, I'm gonna get this ended so I can get this video put together, since it's been a couple of weeks since I did the bridge. But did get the main view screen. It is now good and applied, and so yay. And then starting to work on those, and then also I did get started getting more of the stations together so I can get those finished. But yeah, so it's still coming there, it's coming along. So with that, everybody, please have a very safe and fun Memorial weekend, and have a very safe and fun week next week, and I'll see y'all back here on the bench.